Obviously, a good first half of the day, coming in second in the 250. I only played one entry in there, and it was nice. It was nice to win the 10K. It would have been nicer to win the 20, which it looked like it was going to happen for a minute, but didn't quite hold up there. So a little disappointing on that. But still, overall, a very, very good start to the day. And we've got an evening slate to talk about tonight. So pop on in with your questions, your thoughts, all that stuff as soon as you get a chance. Yeah, we'll wait to see who's in here. I don't see anybody in here yet. I know it's kind of a lame evening slate with just the 3 games, but sometimes we can get creative and find ways to do things here. And we don't need to talk all about stacks or anything like that. We can just talk about some actual plays that we like that are going to be low owned. So I'm going to go into some of those as we go along here. Like, for example, guys like Didi Gregorius, guys like I'm trying to think. Even Real Muto gets some ownership because the position, but Didi Gregorius, I'm looking at Jordan Alvarez at 22%. He's going to have some ownership. Let's look at Kyle Tucker, probably around 20%. Judge and Stanton are 2 obvious ones, but a tough matchup. So they're going to get some ownership, probably in the close to 15 to 20% range as well. So I would just be trying to plug in what I think is the best stacks are the White Sox, in my opinion, and I don't mind taking the other shot with Baltimore on the other side of that game. But you're going to get a lot of ownership there, and just keep it in mind. You want to try to mix in with some lower owned guys. So I'm going to look at, like, for Philly, guys who you can get really low owned are Rhys Hoskins, Kyle Schwarber, Castellanos, Baum, Gregorius. All of those guys make for really good either one-offs, or maybe you get a little 2-man against Musgrove if you're not playing Musgrove. And even if you are playing one of them, I think makes some sense. On the San Diego side against Suarez, no one's going to play Trent Grisham in a lefty-lefty. He's batting 8th. But you can get a little mini stack potentially for San Diego. People aren't going to be as interested because there's no Cronenworth and no Machado. But I think that's an interesting thing you could do to get some low ownership, because that's really the name of the game on these kind of slates, is to try and get the low ownership. That is really, really hard to do because it's only 3 games to choose from, obviously. Playing the bottom of the orders makes a lot of sense to me. There's nobody like overpriced and it's going to really affect their ownership, so I wouldn't worry about that stuff. But I would make my core with Baltimore and the White Sox, and then I would mix in some of the, a Yankee maybe or 2. I would consider, again, a 3 or 4 man from the White Sox, maybe a 2-man from Baltimore, and then either 2 of the lower owned, like Gurriel will probably be the lowest owned of the Astros. You could include him in your stacks and hope the other first baseman don't hit a home run, because he's unlikely to. But I think mixing in Philly and San Diego are probably your best bets as ways to maybe get a little bit off the board, because it's going to be really hard to do that in these with these other guys. And I don't think you have any reason to full stack. Correlation, of course, is always a good thing. So getting, a couple players from a team is better than a full stack, but it's not really that tricky of a slate. So ask me some thoughts, pop in some questions. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I do have one in my 2 big buy-ins. I've got one 4-man of the White Sox. And my other one, I have literally, I don't believe I have more than 2 from a team. Let me double check that and make sure that's right. I've got, no more than 2 from any team. And just taking my favorite bats basically and paying down for pitching in that lineup. The pitchers in order for me are Musgrove, Cueto, Suarez, Valdez, but I'm playing more Valdez. Well, no, I'm playing more Cueto than I am Valdez, but I do like Valdez a lot, even though the Yankees are intimidating. His ownership on a big slate would be non-existent. On this slate, it's going to be pretty high. But I think that, if you want the safest route, it would probably be playing Musgrove and either Suarez or Valdez. But I also really like Cueto today, and I think there's plenty of upside for him against Baltimore. Thanks a lot, Sharks. Appreciate it, man. Just dropped in my pitching, so that's pretty much all I'm doing. Again, everybody's on the board because of the size of the slate. I'm not playing Dean Krimmer, and I'm not playing Tyon at the moment. If you want to play Tyon, I'm not going to argue against you. I just want to make a stand somewhere, so I'm not going to just play all the guys who are available. Again, Musgrove is the obvious one, but I do think getting Cueto and Suarez, who currently I have right around the same ownership as Valdez and Tyon. It wouldn't surprise me if Suarez ended up winning the slate. So I like the idea. If I'm going to play Suarez, play him with Cueto. If I'm going to play Musgrove, play him with Valdez. Just go double spend up or double spend down. That's just the way I like to do things. So if there's no questions or no thoughts, I'm just going to get out of here in a minute. I don't have a whole bunch to go through. It's obviously a very, very small slate. We don't have any weather to worry about, and we don't have any extraordinary conditions that stand out so much better, except for that the White Sox are in a really good spot. Favorite play is probably Jake Berger on the White Sox. I like that he takes up the third base spot. I basically have Berger and Bregman in all of my lineups. One of those two is going to be in all of them. Catcher, it's going to be Rutschman or Real Muto. First base, Abreu, Gurriel, Mountcastle. I have a lot of each of those guys. Second base is Altuve and LeMahieu and Torres for me. Heavy on Altuve. I understand there's some ownership. Berger, Bregman at third, as I mentioned. In the outfield, shortstop, Tim Anderson's the obvious play. Is going to be the most popular. So I'm going to play some Didi Gregorius, and I'm playing him quite a bit because I think he'll be the lowest owned guy who has the power upside to potentially win the position. And then my outfielders, I love Mullins, Mancini, and I love Gavin Sheets. But I also think that those guys are going to have some decent ownership. And I like Alvarez, Judge, and Vaughn as other guys who are going to get ownership. So it's going to be hard to get off the board. Maybe if you mix in a Bryce Harper at lower ownership than usual, 14%. It's a tough matchup, but again, that's what we're trying to do, is get off of the general chalk. So not a whole lot to go through. I just thought I'd give you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to give you guys a real quick glance at my screen, and let me just do it really quickly so I don't get in trouble. Let's see. You guys know I like to be honest about all this stuff. There we go. Chrome's. Let's see. Boop. And we are going to share my screen, and then we are going to quickly unshare my screen. So and I'll scroll down for 1 second, and there it goes. That's basically what I'm doing right now. If you guys wanted to take a screenshot of that one and rewind it, go ahead. Just to give you an idea of exactly what I'm doing. I like to be transparent. I also may not be around for live tomorrow. I'll definitely be available for the morning and have all my plays and everything, but I'm going to try to make sure I'm around for live. It's a little bit tricky these days. As you guys know, I've got a lot of stuff going on. So it's been a little bit hectic in my world. Anyway, guys, good luck to everybody. And I hope that somebody else takes one down. Let's keep the true DFS momentum going. We got a big win from Rody this week. It's nice. I didn't quite get the win. Little late action from Pittsburgh kind of killed it. But it would have been nice to get the win, but still we're on a good roll here. And hopefully you guys are feeling some of that as well. I know we've seen some wins from other guys in the chat, and hopefully you guys can take something down tonight. So good luck, everybody.